Yo guys, welcome back to another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. Okay, so we currently during the live stream, I have viewers, I have people watching. We're going to do the EX Heroic Trial today, and basically I'm going to go through the team, I'm going to go through the setup, and then we're just going to play through it and see what happens. So, we're going with the Dark team. As you can see, they are weak to Water and Dark, and sadly, my Water team just isn't up to scratch when it comes to AoE right now. I have some AoE units, I just don't have enough AoE units to make it a viable team. Like I even still struggle with 7th zone if you guys had seen the videos. But so we're going to go through the team and then we're going to go over what's happening. Haruhime, you know what Haruhime does by now. The SA gauge, no, not the SA gauge charge. For her SA, the 100% strength and magic. Also the buff extension, debuff extension on her. I have Finn for the SA gauge charge, as well as the other additional buffs that he provides. Goblin Slayer's there because he's basically the utility for the team, and on top of that, he's pretty much the only other dark unit that I have MLB'd and ascended. On him, I have Take. Take is here for the 20% strength buff, as well as the other minor buffs that he gives, as well as the 100% ailment resist. Coming across from him, we have the Dark Otal. Now, I know I said like these guys are S tier in my tier list. If you hadn't seen it by now, the card should pop up somewhere. I do recommend you go give it a watch. He is going to be the damage for the team. He always probably will be until Dark gets a real revamp of units, because even with these two additions of the the Titty Twins, I'm not going to say their names. I can pronounce their names now, I'm just not going to because I like calling them the Titty Twins. On him we have the Outsider Rero Eyes. Now I have her MLB, I have done for quite some time. She is a good unit to pick up if you, for example, already have Haruhime and Ares MLB'd from this heroic trial. She is probably your next best bet. She increases single target and AoE damage by 10% and gives a 20% strength buff, so always going to be helpful. Finally, first sack unit I should say is the Lina. You should know what she does by now. She's here for the 33% SA gauge charge. On top of that, I have the Seer for the dark damage increase and dark resistance debuff. Unfortunately, this is the only unit I have on my account. I'm not sure what other units actually provide utility for dark as assists, but I'll probably remember at some point and put it in post editing. Second sack unit is Elmina for the 30% SA gauge SA gauge, what's my obsession? 30% AoE damage increase. And then on her I have Ares for the 15% physical resist debuff. And then finally, my usual entry for my dark team is the Goblin Slayer Armored, or the Goblin Slayer Collab Armored, for the strength, magic and dark buff, as well as the additional super AoE and strength and magic debuff removal. On her I have the Freya for the 20% additional magic, as well as the ailment resist and resistances in general. So we're going to jump in and we're going to see what happens. Now, the guys here in stream have basically told me that Bell stuns, so I just loaded everyone up with stun anklets, and that's what I've done. To be fair, this is a relatively easy trial from the looks of it, but then in saying that, I am running basically a full MLB team. So we're going to do the usual rotation for this team. If you haven't seen any of my 7th zone videos where I use this team, because this is basically my go-to dark team for when I need to use it, there's not much to it. It's pretty brain dead once you get the first couple of turns set up. There is no real changing around, especially with Otal. He essentially just spams the same move until you need to SA. Please don't mention that woman's name in my chat. I don't have her. I overspent for her when she came out. We do not mention her. No, yeah, I summoned into the void. We do not bring that back up. Chat obviously trying to trigger me mid video, and I'm letting it work. So let's get back to it. Like I said, nothing else is really going to change now. We're going to drop the buff because they're going to gain a buff for dark in a way. Goblin Slayer, I would usually use skill 3 if I'm going for a longer run, but there's no need this time because Otal is pretty much going to smash this out. And on the next turn, Armid is going to remove those strength and magic debuffs anyway, so I'm going to be getting out maximum damage regardless. There is no stopping me. There's nothing they can really do. I'm going to SA with Haruhime now, and like I said, super modifier, AoE, remove strength and magic debuffs. I love this Armid so much. I should really maybe potentially upgrade her weapon a little bit more just to get that little bit more damage out when I'm doing 7th zones, but I really can't bring myself to do it, especially considering she's a pseudo support. She's not really going to do much damage regardless. Doge, you're about to get banned, bro. All bragging about your MLB. What's her face? We don't mention her name around here. For those of you that don't know, the Goblin Slayer collab was a really dark period for me, and I tried to. There was only one unit I wanted, and it was Sword Maiden. I didn't want anyone else. I genuinely only wanted Sword Maiden. I summoned heavily into the void for her, so much so that it put me back for basically the entire year in free-to-play Iris, and I still didn't get a single copy of her. Not one. And that's where we're at right now, and I have a arriving hatred for the unit, so to speak. And we're just going to SA with Votal. It should be a turn 7 or turn 8 finish, depending on how many counters I get. Probably turn 8. And Tiv with the cringe joke. You know what? You can, honestly, you can add that emote. You can add that. I'll give you permission, because it should be there. You can add the Sword Maiden emote to the server, because there should be a constant reminder of my failure. And like I said, wait, oh, turn 7. I was wrong. I thought it was going to be a turn 7 or turn 8 finish. Anyway, guys, that is going to be the video. An easy heroic trial for anyone. Guys, honestly, if you cannot do the EX, there's no shame in dropping down to very hard. But these are pretty old units. This heroic trial is relatively easy in general, so it shouldn't be too hard for you to finish, especially if you summon for these new dark units. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to drop a like if you did, subscribe if you're not. Social media links in the description as always, guys. I love you, and I'll catch you later.
Fire!